This is going to be fun to watch.
This is Wrestling with My Thoughts. Up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling with My Thoughts here on the DFPN. Before we start out the show, let's start out by plugging the sponsors. So go to www.gettheplugs.com, www.audioswim.com, and Premier Element UAE. Go to premierelement.com. Go after this show, make sure you go to the Bandcamp. E. Smitty is dropping a remix of the single that he did with Clint Taylor, and that one is going to be featuring MRK SX or Mark Sox, however you want to say his name. He is going to be on the remix of that album, so go check that out at the Bandcamp. Some good music. Again, you get access to the entire library. As soon as this episode is done, we are going to be having it on Patreon, so go to patreon.com/thatfeelingpodcast. For my people who didn't get in on the Black Card Revoke, don't worry. Do not fret. We're going to have a Black Card Revoked with the winner getting a year subscription to Instacart. We're going to do that. We missed out on it last weekend, so we're going to bring it back. We didn't forget about you guys. So if you're in the Patreon and you're in the Dat for $1 tier or the $10 tier, Dat VIP, you can play Black Card Revoked, and that winner will be getting a year's worth of Instacart. So go to that link, patreon.com/thatfeelingpodcast. Subscribe. You can be entered in. All right. We do have merch available. I'm rocking some merch today. So go to teespring.com, search for That Feeling Podcast. Wrestling with My Thoughts has a line. Everybody else has a line. And we are going to be just go cop. Support the team. Support the home brand. Now that the sponsors and everything are out of the way, we have some breaking news. We don't have a lot of breaking news on this podcast, but we have some breaking news. So today is not only the season finale of Wrestling with My Thoughts, it is the series finale of Wrestling with My Thoughts. So for everybody in the group, this doesn't mean anything. You're just going to be still in the group. We're still going to be bringing you wrestling. But the name Wrestling with My Thoughts is going to be retired because, as you can see, there's two of us now. It was me. Then the homie came over, graced us with so much wrestling knowledge, graced us with his presence. He has all kinds of friends in the industry or enemies, depending on how you look at it. He's great at what he does.
Hey man, Vince Russo is a friend of mine.
There you have it. Vince Russo is a friend of his. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be retiring this name. We're going to be changing the name of the podcast to the No Gimmicks Podcast because there will be no gimmicks. It will be 100% real. All the news that you're going to be getting is straight from the industry. We're going to give it to you real, no chaser, which is what we've done with Wrestling with My Thoughts. But Wrestling with My Thoughts is kind of a one-man name. So we're going to switch it to the No Gimmicks Podcast. And there you have it. So that doesn't mean anything for us how we're going to be bringing it to you. We're just going to change the name of the group, change the name of the podcast. Everything else stays the same. So welcome aboard, Frank D. Pleasure to have you. It's been great talking wrestling with you. So I'm pretty sure what we're gonna do with this podcast is gonna be amazing, bro.
You know, it's funny because I just live around the corner from you, right? So you know, it's funny. That's the funny part about it. I used to live around the corner from you, but you and I didn't really know each other,
right?
You know? lived on we lived next to each other, but didn't really know each other. It was our wives that were friends, and our wives are the ones who introduced us to begin with, and ever since then, you've been a real good friend of mine. You're the homie.
Definitely.
So so we decided to go ahead and do this, and I've done podcasts before, previously. Kaylee's heard a number of the interviews that I've done previously.
Yep.
And had Kaylee on the phone with Teddy Long one time. You know what I mean? So we
thank you for that too. I still remember that shit. That shit caught me off guard.
Well,
I wasn't ready.
I was talking to Teddy. I was talking to Teddy yesterday. He remembered that conversation too. So we'll see what's
dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
But yeah, man. So it's just gonna be fun moving forward. Seeing what we can do. No gimmicks. That's pretty much what it is. No gimmicks.
Yep.
We the realists out here, and we about to just basically, tell like it is, and that's what I think is missing right now. You got too many people that's doing podcasts that's trying to be favorites and trying to, we ain't about that. We about going out here straight shooting, telling the truth, telling it the way it is, and that's pretty much how it's going to be.
Yep, definitely, bro. Most definitely. So, yeah, man, I'm excited for the run we about to go on. I know we talked offline about the plans for it, so I'm thinking everybody that if you like wrestling with my thoughts, you're gonna love this shit. So
right, and we want the rest. And the thing about it too is we want the podcast to grow. Right. We want a situation where we can put on an entertaining show, grow the brand, and just basically try to keep the business alive and not have it so jaded and whatever. We're not going to come out here and watch a show and then bury it, and that's pretty much what you're going to hear every episode is us burying something. It's not about that. It's about telling the truth, giving our exact opinions and thoughts on something, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. If you don't like it, feel free to tell us you don't like the shit. So, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so with that, this is still the wrestling podcast for the wrestling fan. What we're going to do with this, we got a good show tonight. So let's end Wrestle With My Thoughts on a high note. So tonight we're going to be talking about AEW Dynamite mostly because there was a lot of stuff that happened last night that is noteworthy and deserves to be talked about. We're also going to be covering the dark side of the ring with the Flyin Brian episode, which if you haven't watched this episode, I highly advise you to go watch this shit because it's amazing. That is an amazing episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Just what he was able to do, and the end of it was tragic, and it's still the tragedy is still there. So we'll cover that. We got Zelina Vega. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say about that too. If you are a fan of just basically biographies in wrestling, and I'm not talking about these ones that WWE's done with A&E and all that. I'm talking about if you want to hear the bottom line story from the people who were involved and people who were there, I would highly recommend Dark Side of the Ring. And the Pillman episodes, it was a two-parter. I'd also recommend the Owen Hart episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes.
I'd also recommend the Brawl for All episode, which is another good one.
Yep.
Any one of those episodes out there, honestly, they're very good. Especially if you want to know about the industry, know about the business, get the inner workings of the business. Jim Cornette's on a lot of those, and like, who doesn't like Jim Cornette? I can listen to Jim Cornette. I can listen to Cornette talk for hours. So he's on a lot of them. You got Vince Russo on a lot of them. Steve Austin was on the Brian Pillman. So was Jim Ross. Chris Jericho was narrating. So if you want to go out there and support an independent brand, independent of the WWE media structure, Dark Side of the Ring on Vice TV is where to go. And they also have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to right now, which has all those episodes I just mentioned.
Yep. Yeah, man. So with that, we got Zelina Vega back in WWE, so we're going to cover that.
Right.
So some newsworthy stuff. So let's start off with AEW Dynamite.
Yes, sir.
Thoughts on the show as a whole?
As a whole, they got too much filler going on for me, for my liking. Okay, one of the things I would say last night that really pissed me off, and I told you this because as soon as it happened, I sent you a Facebook Messenger message, and I told you how much it sucked. It was, you have SCU, who were in TNA, okay? Who doesn't know Frankie Kazarian and the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels? You have these two talents that are going out there, and this is supposed to be their swan song. This is going to be the match. If they lose the match, they're going to break up as a tag team. No more SCU. It's done. So as soon as the Bucks, which I have to say, Young Bucks being heels, much better style wrestling for them. They slowed down tremendously. They're not doing all these spots and crazy shit that they were doing before. They actually slow down now to tell a story. And the last night's story was, we're going to take these dudes out and we're going to humiliate them in the process of taking them out.
Right.
But the thing that got me was, as soon as the Young Bucks got the victory over STU, we immediately are being told by Tony Schiavone or Excalibur or somebody that something's going on in the back, and we're trying to get a camera to the back. Instead of us focusing and taking in SCU is done as a tag team to see what's going to happen, we are took to the back for a meaningless segment with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston destroying the Elite's locker room. I didn't care for that. That really sucked to me. That is one of the big problems that TNA used to have back in the day, when there would be something hot going on in the ring, something, you don't let it simmer good enough before we're on to something else.
Right.
So that's
give them their moment.
Give them their moment. And I thought, looking on Kazarian's face, I was like, oh shit, is Kazarian about to turn on Daniels now because they lost the match? What's going to happen here?
Right.
So I'm hoping that they follow up with something like this next week on Dynamite, where you'll see maybe these two split up or something. They go their own way. Kind of like when Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, they split up in TNA, and Bubba and Devon, they were going to get back together.
Bully Ray.
Yeah, Bubba became Bully Ray, and they had the blow off. Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's where last night I was like, they fucked up to me, because you didn't let that materialize. You didn't let us watch what was happening. You just immediately went on to something else, and it was a meaningless segment. It had, nothing.
Right. It didn't contribute anything. If anything, I would have loved this scene, because the crowd was into the shit.
Oh, and
the crowd knew it was coming. If you watched it, you knew it was coming. There's no way they're going to beat the Bucks for the belts. They're not gonna.
Right.
So set this shit up to where it's a title fight, but they lose. The match itself was strong.
Yes.
They told a good story in the match.
Yes. Yeah.
And even with them losing, right, you give them their moment. Just give them, it doesn't even have to be long. Give them like 30 seconds of just crowd. Thank you, SCU. Great. And I feel the way you do. They dropped the ball on that.
They did. They dropped it big time for
they dropped the ball.
Yeah. Now, as we went further on into the show, they had the segment with Pinnacle, which I gotta say, I like the Pinnacle. The Pinnacle reminds me so much of the Four Horsemen and Evolution.
Yes,
put together. The theme song. I'm very critical when it comes to music with AEW, but the theme song is on point for what they're trying to do. Very Four Horsemen like music, and so I'm digging that. I'm glad that you finally have grown on Sean Spears out there. You know what I mean? I told you the guy, has the goods, man.
He grew on me. On me. I'll give you that, because I was not feeling Sean Spears at first. I was like, get this guy. It needs to be the Four Horsemen. Get that guy the fuck out of here, because he ain't gonna make it. Now I'm like, Wardlow, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? Because everybody else is shining, bro. Everybody else is shining. Right. What are you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Somebody needs to turn. But I agree with you. Now, that segment in particular, last night I had a lot to say about it. I was like, I don't like this shit.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Right. But I can appreciate it. I can appreciate what they did with the segment. There was just a lot of the little things, like the little bit of the bubbly. I could have did without that. You know what I mean? Like the transition from, because the promo that they did in the ring was amazing. It was a great promo. They were selling themselves and carrying themselves much like the Four Horsemen did.
Oh, you're referring to when MJF was talking, and then when Tully took over.
Yeah,
Tully gave him the
gave him the Rolexes.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff.
Yes.
But then when all that honking started,
yeah, that's when I was like, "What are y'all doing? Y'all fucking this up." Yeah. I'm like, "Y'all fucking this up right now."
Right.
And yeah, it was an interruption, and I'm like, somebody needs to come out because they were just honking, and then it was like, honk, 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 honk.
Right,
like, come on, bro. Right. Like somebody come out soon, and then they came out. Like, took them a minute to come out, set up the angle. I could see Jericho hiding in the fucking back of the thing.
Yeah, so I saw that too. I was like, yeah. let me suspend my disbelief here for a minute. Act like I don't see Jericho.
Yeah, I can see you, bro. We see you. But I knew he was there. Surprised he comes out, his arms taped up, cast on it. So I don't know if that's legit or not, but they played it like he dislocated his shoulder. So maybe it's legit, maybe it's not, maybe it's great storytelling.
I don't know, man. He was looking like Shane Douglas last night with that brace. So
yeah, but I think the end of that I could have did without.
Yeah, I didn't like the bubbly.
I didn't like it.
If Inner Circle would have just came out there and just started whooping ass, that would have been a different story.
Right.
If they would, and you know, to me, honestly, it would not have hurt them to keep them off TV maybe another week and then brought them back.
Exactly.
You know, just to really sell blood and guts. But I think because they realized that everybody was shitting on the back bump, and you know, and I'll tell you, Chris Jericho, what is he? Jericho's like 50 years old.
Jericho's 50, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not expecting Jericho to be up there taking some ridiculous ass bump. My opinion stands as last week. The bump should never have happened to begin with.
No.
You told a good story. That was it. That was going to be the end of it. That was done. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, and you know what? One little thing that I appreciated last night, because they showed a clip of it, but they did what I said they should do, and show that clip
different
angle. Yep. From a different angle. Show that clip from a different angle and cut the fuck away from it. And they did. Right. I was like, okay, they listened.
Yeah. They learned. Yeah, they learned.
They listened, and that was good shit. But before we go any further on that, I want to go back to the beginning of the show because I was not expecting this to open the show.
Yeah.
Fuji Nagata versus Jon Moxley.
All right, let me stop you right there before go ahead. Everybody jumps on you. It's Yuji Nagata.
Yuji. I said Fuji. Yuji.
You said Fuji. Yeah, exactly. You up here talking about you.
I've been drinking Crown Peach, bro.
I don't remember Mr. Fuji having any fucking relatives out there wrestling.
It's the Crown. It's the Crown.
Okay.
Blame it on the Crown.
I was watching.
My bad.
Yuji. I was watching Yuji back in the WCW days.
My bad, people. My
right.
bad. Yes, it's Yuji Nagata.
Yes.
Yuji.
Yes.
Yuji, not
right.
Fuji.
Exactly.
Damn Crown, man. I'm already celebrating Smoke Pit early, but it's the Crown. But Yuji Nagata versus.
I'm surprised you didn't put Yuji. I'm surprised you didn't put Fuji versus Ambrose.
I should have. I should have. That would have been better. But overall, though, hard-hitting match. Hard-hitting.
Right.
I know you didn't see it, but
I saw the end of it.
Right.
I saw the end of it. I saw the finish, and I saw when Moxley, bowed and showed his respect to Yuji. So, I mean, that was pretty good. And you mentioned to me about a possibility of a New Japan invasion of AEW. I think it might happen because guess what? Moxley still has that United States Championship.
Still has it.
Who's going to come across? You know, as we're starting to ease up restrictions now with traveling and all that, who might come across? Who might come over next? Would it be Tama Tonga? Would it be, you know what I mean? Are we going to finally see the Bullet Club versus the Elite?
I hope so.
Blood and guts?
I hope so. Just give me something.
It's a possibility that Daniel Bryan might be the next one.
Don't say that. For those of us on Daniel Bryan watch, I haven't heard anything in a couple of days because I've been following this shit.
Right.
There hasn't been any news on him signing a new contract, any news of him in negotiations for a new contract, other than Triple H tried to talk him into re-signing.
Right.
As of yet, he still hasn't re-signed. So, Double or Nothing is what, on the 22nd?
No, I think it's the 30th.
Are you sure?
I think it's.
I thought it was like. Let me check the old calendar. I'm still pissed, by the way, because we had tickets to Double or Nothing.
Hey! Listen, you know what? Since you're saying that, all right. Now I'm gonna have to lay the smackdown on you because I hit you up. I hit you up earlier in the week, and I said, "Hey, man, they got AEW coming. They got AEW coming to to Texas or whatever. So why don't you get on the plane, right there on get on the plane, go to the airport right there on Jabroni Drive, and get on the plane, and fly your ass to Texas, and we'll go to Dynamite." So they had a pre-sale for tickets this morning, and I admit I overslept by an hour. Nonetheless, I get on there.
That was the pre-sale?
Today was a pre-sale, bro. Tomorrow,
oh man, that ain't shit, bro. Don't worry about that shit. Don't worry about that shit. It's the pre-sale.
Fuck that.
Fuck the pre-sale.
Because if I listen to you, we'll be in the fucking nosebleeds.
No, we won't. All right. Fuck the pre-sale.
I want to sit down at ringside to hear Kenny Omega cut a bad promo.
Fuck the pre-sale. Don't worry about the pre-sale. The real sale is the one we need to be present for. The pre-sale is
I'll tell you what.
That's for the marks, bro.
I'll tell you what.
The pre-sale's for the marks. You let the marks do that thing. The shit's gonna go on Ticketmaster anyway. They're gonna resell that shit. That's what the pre-sale is.
Well,
the sale is the one we need to be there.
I'll tell you what. Tomorrow is the sale. All right.
That is tomorrow.
Yeah. And unless I have to lay the smackdown on you all the way from San Antonio, Texas. All right. You fucking up, my friend. You fucking up.
No one's fucking up. We got
because we're gonna be sitting here. We're gonna be sitting here and we're gonna be watching the shit from watching the shit on TV where we can be there live.
It's fine. We'll be all right. It's fine. We'll be there.
I had to call you out. I
know people, bro. It's fine. We're good.
I had to call you on it, man. I mean, you call yourself the Black Mac right now. You have like a macaroni. You digging it?
Macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Listen, it's fine, bro. We'll be there. Don't worry about it.
Hey, is it baked?
It better be.
Damn right.
It better be. But yes, Double or Nothing. We could probably, and it is on the 30th. I checked. We could probably see. We were
supposed to be there, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Remember?
I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah.
Like they canceled the shit and then America opens up. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Y'all should have kept the tickets. We could have been there.
Yeah, that's right.
We could have been there. But It is what it is. We can see them there.
Hey, we better do something. I can't wait to show up at AEW Dynamite wearing my NWO gear.
Hell yeah. And that's just gonna be at full capacity too.
Well, exactly. That's the whole point, dude.
Yeah,
we're here in Texas. We're here in America. Freedom.
I ain't hating on it. I'll be there. As long as you opening up, I'll be there. Exactly. I'm vaccinated, so I don't care. Just give me. I'll be in that bitch.
Hey,
yeah,
listen, hey, I respect you for doing it, but hey, if it ain't broke, I ain't gonna fix it.
Hey, cool. You do you, my friend.
That's right. I take the vaccine if they pay me.
I mean, you get free shit.
You give me mucho dinero. I say you stick it in. You give me mucho dinero. You stick it in. You give me $1 million man money. You stick it in.
If they gave you free tickets to an AEW show, would you do that?
I don't think. Nope. Nope.
I would. It ain't that bad.
Nah, dude.
It ain't that bad.
Nah, I'm good.
For an AEW show, I definitely give me that shit.
And then you'll be, you know what happened? We'll be sitting here talking like we are right now, and we'll have the Jim Cornette. Every time Jim Cornette starts talking about AEW, he'll go, "That's, you know."
Hey, it is. It is what it is. But continuing on, because we digressing. Continuing on, we have a new TNT champion as of last night.
Jeez. Wow. All I can say is wow. What a fucking match that was. And that
was a damn good match.
Dude, that talking about squash. But Darby Allin took it like a G, man.
He did. Bro, did you see the end of that match when normally because he puts that shit on and he's just like on the back, he was just like, fuck you. And leaned back on that shit. I was like, oh my God.
What they did last night with Miro is what Miro should have been the entire time he's been there. That's what he should have been. And it's kind of making me wonder now, too. Okay, you have Miro out there, but then they tease Lance Hoyt came out there.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
All right, I'm sorry. I keep calling Lance Archer. You know, I keep calling him Lance Hoyt because I remember, TNA was Lance Hoyt.
Yeah.
But Lance Archer comes out there. You got Jake the Snake holding Lance back because he already knows, man. No, not right now because this dude is fucking amped.
Yeah. So yeah, he's jacked now.
Yep.
Now unlike Darby, I love Darby to death. Love him to death. There are so many possibilities you could go with Miro. You could put him in there with so many people, and it would be credible. And he could get over. And it would be a great match.
You know who I want to see him in the ring with? Somebody, in my opinion, that they've dropped the ball with and have completely killed all his momentum. I think you would agree with me on this. Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, him versus Hangman would be a dope ass fucking.
Do you remember a couple years ago? I believe it was what was it? Was it Revolution when him and Omega at the end and everybody thought that Page was about to turn on Omega?
Oh yeah, that was Revolution. That was the last full capacity pay-per-view they had.
Yeah.
And that was a damn good match too.
Look how he's fallen from that point.
I think, you know what I think though? I think they really want to make Page the champion. They just don't know how yet.
Dude, the guy was over.
He's still over.
Cowboy shit was over.
He's still over.
I mean, I'm not watching Dark Elevation or any of that shit, so I don't know.
He's over. He's just not. He's not in. So according to the rankings, Page is like either he should be number 1 now because Miro's the champion.
Okay.
So he was number 2. Miro was 1. But he should be in the mix for either one of those belts, though. Okay,
because I was going to ask you, is there a difference with the ranking? Is there a difference for the TNT Championship versus the World Championship?
You can go for either one.
Okay.
Which is why they put Miro up against Darby.
Gotcha.
Because it wouldn't have made sense to put him up against Kenny, not yet. Although I think him and Kenny would be a damn good match.
I think the time is kind of wasted on that one. They didn't.
Yeah.
They should have done something with that a long time ago, but now they got Kenny Omega, and I'm just me personally right now. I'm not digging Kenny Omega as the
champion.
I'm not. I'm not.
And you know what? It kind of makes me think this 3-way dance is set up for him to lose.
Yeah, and I predicted it last time we did a show that they're going to do a 3-way dance. They're
You
going to put
did.
both
You
of them in
called
there,
it.
you know,
You called it.
and it has to be Pac taking it.
I think they're gonna give it to Orange, bro.
They better not, dude.
I think so.
Fuck that.
I think they're gonna give that shit to Orange.
Okay, well, if you want to give it to Orange, then you might as well give it to Luchasaurus.
Bro, Orange is massively over right now. But now what will tell is when they do go back to full capacity. Because the crowd will tell you everything that you need to know.
Well, yeah. But just Omega as a wrestler, Omega's fine. But as this character he's trying to portray right now, I'm just not digging it. It's too over the top.
You wouldn't be alone. You wouldn't be alone in thinking.
Yeah, it's just too over the top. What I want to see is Bullet Club Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
this isn't Bullet Club Kenny Omega. You know, so that's kind of what I want to see, and I also would like to see more of talent coming from Impact Wrestling over to AEW.
I would love to see that too. And this is another reason why I think he's going to drop it. He's going to drop it because he's scheduled to work Impact, like multiple pay-per-views. Right. So, and he's working them as Impact champion. So I think that may be set up for him to drop the belt. But whoever wins it ain't pinning them.
No, I don't see it happening either. I don't see him pinning it. I mean, it's to me it should be Pac.
Yeah.
But like you said, they'll go with the fluke win for, an Orange Cassidy. But once again, man, there's a possibility that you can see a Daniel Bryan come in there. You can see a Daniel Bryan maybe come into Impact. You can see Samoa Joe come into AEW or Samoa Joe come into Impact.
Right.
One of these possibilities.
We got a comment from a user that says Kenny retains and they set up Best Friends versus Death Triangle. That would be cool. But me personally, I don't see Kenny retaining. I don't. Not right now.
I don't know, man. It's just the way they book, like, you wouldn't have told me last night that Miro was going to beat Darby Allin. Because Darby Allin had been winning every match. Right. And then you had Sting out there with Darby.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, that's a good thing, a good idea there of the Death Triangle versus the Best Friends. But if Kenny does retain, I think at the end of the show, if Kenny retains, then fantasy booking, then you can bring in his next challenger. Who would that be? That could be a Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. That could be a Samoa Joe entering in and standing on the stage and confronting Omega. That's how Double or Nothing will go off the air. If it's can be done that way. But Death Triangle versus Best Friends, that would be a good series.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. So, moving on. Let's move on. We covered pretty much. What didn't we cover from Dynamite? That's pretty much it. That was the high spots. Yeah, that was the high spots.
Yeah. Hey, Tony Schiavone was great, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, I thought it was a really solid show.
Yeah.
It was a really solid show. Ratings wise.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The ratings came in. Yeah, they're back under 1 million.
Yeah.
But both shows, specifically NXT, saw a huge drop this week.
Yeah. NXT dropped a lot. But I don't know what it is they can do to get more viewers, because NXT had a solid show too. It wasn't bad.
So I'm gonna just I hate to be that guy, but here's the deal. All right, NXT was a WWE network property. All right, just because you have it on the network, how much of the audience was actually watching NXT? Was NXT this big global phenomenon that they say it was? Just because you could go to your markets like New York and you can put people inside the Barclays Center for a pay-per-view or go here for a takeover and you got people showing up, does that mean that equates to the popularity of the main roster product? Obviously not.
No.
That's a problem. So the NXT brand is just not as popular as it once was. And I'm sorry, you got vanilla midgets running around there like Gargano and all the rest of these guys. And
I like Johnny Wrestling.
Nobody's watching the shit.
I like Johnny Wrestling.
Why? Okay. In the reality of it is this: even on Dynamite's worst show, is better than NXT's best show because Dynamite has more excitement going on it. It's more of a like you don't know what the hell is going to happen, kind of like how Nitro was to Raw. That's what it is.
That's a good comparison.
I mean, me and the wife used to watch, NXT religiously. We used to always watch it, but we stopped watching it when Nakamura and Samoa and Finn Balor and all these different cats, they moved to the main roster and got lost in the shuffle. We stopped watching NXT. And I'm sorry, Undisputed Era didn't do it for me.
That's a bold statement.
Didn't do it for me. because I was never a fan of any of these guys when they were in Ring of Honor. I wasn't really a fan of Roderick Strong or Bobby Fish or Kyle O'Reilly, and I wasn't a fan. I mean, they were good talents, but it's nothing I never like. Damn, I got to go out of my way to go watch them. Never happened.
I think the allure for them was more so like they all had rivalries.
Hey, bro, the allure for them was they had a kick-ass theme song, and that's it.
That theme song is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's like only one. It's probably like one that CFOs did that was actually good.
But yeah, so I think you hit it. I think you hit the nail on the head because they do have a good product, and they're just not reaching a lot of people. So
and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. For me to sit here and just say to dump on Undisputed Era, I'm not dumping on them. I'm just as a fan that has watched the industry. They just don't do anything for me as a viewer. They might have fans that says, "Oh, these guys, have kick-ass matches and whatever." That's fine for them. But as a grown adult man, am I going to spend my money on their product? No, I'm not going to. And I know that they're not going to reach. I know they're not reaching the kids. So
no, they're not.
You know what I'm saying? So what is the target audience right now for NXT? Because AEW has the higher demo in 18 to 49. So who is actually watching NXT? It's obviously not the main roster people because your show is not doing over 1 million viewers a week. So who the fuck is watching this shit?
That's a good question.
It's a small percentage of the audience, just like the small percentage of the audience that used to watch ECW. I don't give a shit what anybody out there says to try to tell me that ECW was number 2 at any point during that war behind the WWF. Bullshit. When ECW got the money that WCW got, when ECW got the pay-per-view buy rates that WCW got, when they got the television ratings that WCW got, then we can have that conversation. We can't have that conversation because it never fucking happened. Just like NXT versus AEW. What was the whole reason for NXT to jump to win, even though they have a night already? What was the point for them to jump to Wednesday nights? It was to stop the growth of AEW. That's what they were attempting to do.
Facts.
And it didn't happen. So they ran their ass back to Tuesday. Much like when WCW launched Thunder back in the day and SmackDown came, WCW retreated to Wednesday. Same thing. History repeats itself. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you have so many people out there that's into this product, as these NXT people will say that they're into it, just like the AEW fans will say that they're into it, then I want both shows to be doing over 1 million fucking people a week. It's not happening. because you have a niche audience that's going to watch your show. And if you have something good, they're going to watch it even more. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Take note, Mark.
So maybe some people watched Blood and Guts and was like, hey, this shit's cool. And then some people watched, oh, fuck, I can't watch this shit. It's not for me. Same thing for NXT. They say, oh, what the fuck's this? Oh, I can't watch this shit. It's not like the NXT like it used to be, so I ain't gonna watch it.
Right.
Like you were telling me that you were on Raw in the Thunderdome, and you were asking if I'm watching. I said, hell no, I'm not watching that shit because I'm not trying to go to sleep right now.
Hi. I want to stay here so
we interrupt this broadcast. I'll go ahead and carry this since the Black Mac there has been interrupted. Bottom line is this. NXT sucks. Period. You tell me NXT doesn't suck.
It doesn't. It actually doesn't. I'm being straight up.
The ratings prove otherwise.
The ratings suck. The show itself is not a bad show. It's really not a bad show. It's not. And I think Killer Cross, aka Karrion Kross, is great in NXT. I think
is he drawing in viewers?
No one is. But
and there, you know what? There you go. I'm not even going to argue that because we're past the point where the champion brings in, puts the asses in the seats. Because we also have to remember the fact is this: during the scamdemic era, how many people actually stopped watching wrestling?
A lot.
Don't want to watch the studio shit. So here's the deal: as we start to come back with fans, we shall see if the numbers rebound or not. That's how we'll tell.
They will.
We'll tell if the numbers.
AEW's definitely will. I don't know about NXT's.
I don't know, man. AEW has some good times, and then they have a lot of bad times, man.
This is true. But
some of their shit reminds me, honestly, some of AEW shit reminds me of some bad WCW 2000 shit.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is with the full capacity crowd, and I'm hoping they go back to what it was before the pandemic, because that shit was money, and that shit was a wrestling show. I could watch that shit all day long because the crowd made those shows. 95% of the time, the crowd made the shows because they were there and they were into it and they were liking what they see. Now, if they go back to that, their numbers will improve. NXT, I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. Like I told you, I enjoyed the product when they had Nakamura, they had Joe, they had Finn Balor. That's when I was a big fan of the product down there.
Right.
Finn's
there now, but
I can't get it. Yeah, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just not the same. It's like, and then Finn he's a big fish in a small pond down there.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
Thank you very much. It's right there. Michael Blake just said it. Yeah, it's hard to get excited when NXT is basically a feeder league. Exactly. It's not its own promotion. It's for people to sit there and say it's their third brand. It's bullshit. NXT is just OVW with a better TV deal. That's
you know how you know it's a feeder league? Because Vince doesn't promote it.
Exactly.
Vince don't promote that shit.
Exactly.
So
it's the NCAA, man. That's all it is.
It's the D League, man. It's the NBA D League. That's what that shit.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Dark Side of the Ring. They premiered episode 2, part 2 of the Flyin Brian series. So they kicked this season off. I got to give it the Dark Side of the Ring. They always kick off a season with a bang. Like
they're hit and miss. Some of them are,
the last couple seasons they've started off.
Yeah, they've been hit. They're hit and miss.
Yeah,
I mean they're most of them are good, but some of them are like, why did you cover this person?
Right. Yeah, there are some questionable ones.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. But when they get it right, they get it right.
Right.
And I feel like with the Flyin Brian saga, they got this one right.
Well, dude, you keep calling him Flyin Brian. We're talking about the loose cannon, Brian.
Okay, all right, yeah, loose cannon, Flyin Brian.
If I could just slap the shit out of you for calling him Flyin Brian.
The man started off as Flyin Brian. He named himself that, not me.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying we're talking about the
that's
loose
what they called
cannon.
it.
We're talking about the loose cannon.
The man named himself Flyin Brian first,
well,
before he was the loose cannon.
Yeah, whatever.
He did that, not me. Him.
Whatever. And I'll name myself the Hulkster brother.
But anyway, so if you don't know the story, I highly advise you to go watch this documentary. So what he was able to do, I don't think anybody had done that.
No.
Prior to him.
No.
The shit was genius, bro. The shit was fucking genius.
Right. Do you believe, but let me ask you a question. Do you believe, I believe him, but do you believe Eric Bischoff when he says that Pillman came and talked to him about what the plan was going to be and he let him out just for Pillman to leave, for Pillman to come back to WCW?
Yeah, I believe him. I believe him, and I also believe Brian Pillman was a fucking genius for doing that shit.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, he played. No. I've heard Bischoff talk about this several times on different 83 Weeks podcasts. I believe Eric Bischoff 100%. He told Pillman to leave to justify him going to get more money for Pillman, because Pillman was a mid carder in the Four Horsemen.
Right.
All right. So I believe Eric on that one. I really do believe Bischoff. Yeah.
I believe him, but I also believe that plan was fucking genius.
Oh, hell yeah.
No matter how you spin it, the motherfucker was able to do what the fuck he wanted to do.
And you really thought it was crazy. And they kept bringing that up, like going to Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
When he got behind Bobby Heenan. And Bobby, he was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. On live TV.
Yeah. On TBS. You know what I'm saying? So that's when you got something. And then when he came out there, and then then when he went to ECW and really turned it up. Yeah. And then it's just and to me, honestly, man, it's like, even when the WWE signed him, it's to me, Pillman never fit in the WWF. He didn't fit there.
Went back to WCW.
Yeah,
and he would have been money there.
Yeah,
he would have been real money there. But one of the high spots of him going to the WWF at the time was the angle between him and Stone Cold.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
I was actually watching that episode of Superstars when he hit Pillman with that damn cane and all of that. That was good shit. But it's just like, with Pillman is when Pillman was healthy. Pillman easily, dude, you got to remember something. This was a point in time when the NWO was about to start jumping off at WCW, and Pillman been healthy. Pillman coming in there. I mean, imagine that. Imagine a healthy Brian Pillman with a loose cannon gimmick right in the middle of the NWO versus WCW war. And out, in walks Brian Pillman with that. That would have been fucking money. But unfortunately, the accident happens.
Yeah.
And, he was never the same after that.
Never the same.
His value to WCW and the Bischoff just went, what the fuck are we going to do with this guy? Yeah. The only other person I remember that could successfully, go out there and do some shit. And he was, he was amputated. He was Kerry Von Erich, Texas Tornado.
Yeah.
And he got over. He
And
came.
a lot of people didn't know Kerry Von Erich.
Shit.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that he was amputated.
Yeah, I didn't
That
know that
motherfucker was
until
working his ass off.
he was working his ass off, but he covered that with that specially made boot he had. But then he put the fringes around that shit to hide it.
Right.
But my point is that Kerry came to the WWF. Kerry got over. Kerry became the Intercontinental Champion. Had that fucking match with Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam '90, blew the fucking roof off the Coruscant Spectrum.
Yep.
And just it went from there. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So same thing with Pillman. If Pillman had been healthy, Pillman could have did so much more than what he did instead of being a lackey, honestly, to the Hart Foundation.
A healthy Brian Pillman is in the GOAT conversation. Question. No fucking question.
But even a injured Brian Pillman still has that mouth.
Yeah.
Because Pillman, the problem with Pillman was that Pillman, from watching the documentary, Pillman didn't let his injury heal good enough like it should have been. Probably. He was out there.
Because he wanted to be out there. Because he knew what time was doing. Yeah. I don't have a lot of time.
Had he been healthy, had he sat there, and they could have, he could have had that match with Austin. He could have been doing that shit with Shawn, had he been healthy enough to do it. But it's just, watching him back down and this dude was really fucking in pain when he was out there bumping around and all that shit. So that's kind of where we're at, where it's like, this isn't good.
In the end, it killed him.
Yeah, it really
in the
did.
end, it killed him.
And that was fucking that part to me, dude. I don't know why, but it just watching that, and then Jim Cornette saying that he called the hotel and talked to the the receptionist there, and he says Brian Pillman, I'm calling I'm Jim Cornette calling from the World Wrestling Federation looking for one of our talents, and the guy says hold on, comes back, Mr. Pillman's dead.
Yeah,
like what the fuck? And I don't know why.
At first he's like, this is it. All right, come on. Quit bullshitting. Like, nah, this is for real. He's dead.
Right.
And I've never seen Cornette. I've only seen him emotional one other time, as emotional as he was in that episode. And that was talk about Owen Hart. Like you could tell he cared.
Yeah, it was fucking. I cared watching that shit. It was fucking sad. So it's I had I don't know. It had shivers, bro. It was just fucking sad when he said that. And he says, go get Bruce. Bruce is busy. Go get Bruce. Brian's dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, man. I had to rewind it a couple of times just to let that shit sink in. What the fuck? It was sad. And then hearing all the stuff that unfortunately his kids had to go through.
Yeah.
With the mother. And my God, man, time has not been too kind to Melanie Pillman.
Ooh, fucked her right on up. As
soon as I saw her in the first episode, I'm like, this broad's been on drugs or something.
Yeah. Life hit her dead smack in the face with that curveball.
It's still hitting her, dude. You see all the fucking track marks in her arms and shit?
Yep. Yeah, it was bad. But coming out of that, if I had to root for anybody, it's Brian Jr.
Yeah, and that's
I want him.
AEW. That's what I was gonna say. AEW, you guys got Brian Pillman Jr. down there.
Yep.
Do the right thing. Push the fucking guy. You got Brian Pillman Jr. down there. The legacy of Brian Pillman right there.
Yep. Strap him up.
Do the right thing. No disrespect, but is Sonny Kiss all that important? You know what I'm saying? Do we need to see another? Do we need to see another QT Marshall match?
No, not really. But next week they do have a championship match with the Young Bucks next week. The Varsity Blondes, which I'm so glad they continued that legacy too, because that's dope. And it was great seeing Stone Cold talk about Brian.
Yeah, now I have a problem with that part too, because I didn't want to say anything. Once again, I hate to be that guy, but I got to point it out.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I know. So you heard the sister say that the producer asked, "So how many wrestlers attended his funeral?" Said none.
None.
So I had a problem with that because I'm like, yay, Stone Cold, you're on here talking. You guys, Brian was your boy. You loved him so much. Why weren't you at his funeral? But then I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, a lot of people can't handle things like that. They can't handle.
Right.
They can't handle.
Right. That was his boy too.
Yeah.
That was his boy.
Because I know it's hard for me dealing with stuff like that. So I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But for nobody to show up except for Vince and JR.
Tough.
Yeah. So that's the sister was kind of she kind of acted like she didn't want to answer that question, somewhat, but she was done.
Fuck it, just say it.
Yeah, so
and I imagine that was they do the confidentials afterwards, and they bring the directors on to talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see what they went through this episode.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see it.
Hey, listen, if there's anybody out there right now that's listening to this show and want to watch what we're talking about, simply go to youtube.com. Vice TV is the channel, and you can watch both episodes of the Brian Pillman, the Loose Cannon, Flyin Brian documentary.
Yep. All right, so let's move on. Last segment. Zelina Vega or Thea Trinidad, whoever you wanna refer to her as, is back in the WWE. I know that split was very tumultuous.
Yeah.
She's back.
Yeah.
The E is the land of second chances.
I'm gonna just stop you right now. Vince never forgets, right?
Oh, I know.
So she might be at the performance center and she might be out there working and practicing and everything is all good and dandy. Woman, you're about to get fucking buried. You embarrassed him. You talked all this shit about them on social media. You had SAG involved and possibly going out for WWE. You had that politician Yang was talking about this shit. You think Vince is he forgot about all that? You think that this is gonna be fucking roses coming back to the whip? No. So when she starts jobbing and they say we got nothing for you, and they put all her shit not in a plastic bag, but they put all her shit in a Walmart bag and mail it to her, what you gonna do then?
Yeah, I can see this one coming, bro.
Yep.
I can see this one coming. It ain't gonna be pretty.
Hell no, it ain't gonna be pretty. That's all.
It ain't gonna be pretty.
That's all I got to say about that. Because
if
obviously you ain't sticking. Obviously, the shit that you were talking about, sticking to your morals and all this, obviously you were full of shit because you're back in the whip.
Coming in like it was supposed to, bro.
But I guess some offers from AEW came in or whatever, so I had to go back.
But it ain't gonna be pretty.
I guess the cosplaying thing didn't work out. Huh? Should have just went and did OnlyFans.
It ain't gonna be pretty.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be pretty. It's gonna be bad.
And I got nothing against the train. I got nothing against her at all. I was watching her when she was in TNA. I got nothing against her. It's just the point of the matter is that you were bitching and complaining about the system of the WWE. You were exposing them. You wanted a meeting with Vince, and Vince said he didn't want to talk to you. And all of a sudden, everything's cool now. It ain't never cool with them. Vince, don't forget.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be good.
Nah.
This ain't gonna be good. She's gonna be getting that Lana treatment times 1,000.
Yeah, well. Hey, as long as she gets that paycheck, right?
Hey, that's all that matters.
That's how I would be, man. Listen, if I was in the WWE and they fucking sit up there and say, hey, you know what? We're gonna put you on main event. You're gonna be working main event every night. I don't give a fuck. As long as you pay me.
Yeah.
Like Honky Tonk Man. You pay me for
put
those
me on the C show.
Yeah, put me
I don't care.
Yeah,
put me on the C show.
Because it means I ain't got to deal with the bullshit of having to come to Raw, SmackDown, TVs, or whatever. I just go out there and take my little match while I'm there and leave.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if that works for her, that works. But
hey, it is what it is.
I don't see this going well.
I don't see it going well either.
I don't see it going well.
Yep.
But she's there, she's back, and
That's my feeling about it.
Mm.
But we'll hear about it. We'll hear about it in about 6 months when she's back out there complaining again about her treatment at WWE. When she starts getting the Gail Kim treatment, we'll
Now,
see.
the part I'm more curious about is she going to be able to do all the shit that she wanted to do that caused her to leave anyway? And that answer is probably no. And if it is, it's probably going to be rights of WWE now. So,
hey, if you want them in your pockets, so that's the thing. That's the thing that people don't get. There is life outside of WWE. There is money outside of the WWE. They ain't the only game in town anymore. There is money outside of WWE. It's not. Whether you want to go out there and get it or not. But hey,
right.
if you feel comfortable working the system now, I don't know. Maybe she had a bad interaction or something with Mark Carrano, and now Carrano's not there anymore. John Laurinaitis is back in charge. Whatever. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure we'll be hearing about this in a few months when she starts getting jobbed out and she's not getting that push or whatever. You know what they do, man. They're going to promise you the world to bring you back in.
Yeah. And then
let's let bygones be bygones. Let's, whatever happened in the past happened in the past. And
that's the spider web. That's the spider web agreement, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll let all this shit go. Come on back in. We'll let it all go. Oh, she's on it. Fuck her.
Exactly. Yep. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Shit.
It's going to be bad. But good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck.
I don't know. Good luck to you.
Yep.
I hope it all works out, but
I'd say she's probably going to end up back in NXT.
Probably.
Yep.
Probably. I would think so.
Hey, real quick before we check out.
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to talk about right quick was so are you convinced at this point that WWE has dropped the ball on the Fiend?
Am I convinced that WWE has dropped the ball on the Fiend? I've been convinced.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sorry. I
was looking at Alexa Bliss and her whole get up or whatever, and I'm like, bro, it's not doing anything for me because
no.
What the fuck do you have to do with the story?
Nothing. She was supposed to be Sister Abigail.
Okay. Well,
she's not Sister Abigail.
She ain't Sister Abigail. You're not carrying this shit to. I mean, nothing. Randy Orton's completely moved on to a tag team with Riddle now. I don't know.
Like, what are we gonna do? But as far as the Fiend goes, bro, they been dropped the ball on that shit.
Hey, so and that's all I got to say about that. Let me bring your attention to something real quick. So every night I do this. I watch Stone Cold Steve Austin from 2001, the heel Steve Austin. I have a newfound appreciation for Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2001 as a heel. That is some funny ass shit. I was watching it back then; it was funny, but
with him and Kurt Angle,
him and Vince, how he was treating Deborah with the cookies, fucking, Deborah coming in and throwing the fucking coffee in Stone Cold's face. All the shit that he was doing. It's just funny ass shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Stone Cold as a heel was actually pretty fucking good.
I have a newfound appreciation for that shit.
Because he was trying to be serious, but the shit kept going wrong around him. But he was like, God damn, man.
And honestly, it kind of happened when Triple H got injured. When they were doing a 2-man power trip, but then when he went solo, good.
That was, if I'm not mistaken, that run of Stone Cold was after. No, you're right. I'm going too far ahead.
Of course,
you're right. Right. But no, the 2-man power trip.
2-man power trip. I just.
You didn't like that?
I didn't really care. I didn't care for it because I didn't care for it because they didn't really have a plan in place for when The Rock was leaving. Originally Triple H was supposed to be the face, the baby face. It was going to be Austin and McMahon against Triple H,
Right.
but that didn't happen, and Trips wanted to say heel.
Okay.
So that didn't happen, but I don't know. I just that'd be something we'll talk about on another day because I'd like to get into the 2-man power trip.
Yeah. That would. Yeah. Yeah. We need a segment dedicated to that one.
Right.
Yeah, we do. We do. They did some great shit.
Hell yeah.
They did some great shit.
Maybe that'd be some extra audio one day we can do it on Patreon or something.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right.
But this has been the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for tuning into the last episode of Wrestling with My Thoughts. Come back because we're coming back as the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN, and tune in, follow, like, subscribe, do all that great stuff, share. We appreciate y'all. Later.